let it
Yeah, I
snow.
mean, this thing could blow up right over
Man.
you out there on the Outer Banks. I mean, you guys had a reprieve for the most part with the last weekend storm. You were one of the areas that saw rain, but this time it seems like you could be in for actual snow this weekend.
Yeah, and this is the classic setup for us to get snow. It's got to be one of these that starts south and comes right up the coast, and everything is lining up for a pretty significant event. We want to try and rate history, or at least, put a little history behind when we get something like this and think, okay, well, this might be like this and this might be like that. And it's hard not to do that. But when earlier this afternoon, as we started to get a little more idea from the National Weather Service and getting closer to the event, starting to get into that 72-hour window, I've seen things starting to mention 1980. I've seen things starting to mention 1989, Christmas 1989, March 1st, 1980. Then going back to 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago. First week, the only time there has been a blizzard warning issued for the northeastern corner of the state. And in fact, the only time that the Wakefield National Weather Service office has ever issued a blizzard warning was 8 years ago for a system just like this that caused 8 to 10 inches of snow on the Outer Banks and brought us strong winds in excess of 40 miles an hour, sustained with gusts as high as 50. We're still outside the window where we can confidently, or at least have a better bit of confidence on what the wind speeds are going to be. Not only wind speeds, but wind direction. That's a great graphic that kind of that shows what happens. Brad put that up on WCNC, where the track, depending on where the center of circulation with one of these lows tracks, is going to dictate what happens with the three scenarios. Now, that nothing track should be probably with an asterisk. Nothing meaning snow. For us here on the Outer Banks, we've got three things we're going to be dealing with. We're going to be dealing with wintry precipitation, likely snow. Maybe a little rain mixes in at times to start on Saturday, maybe mixes in a little bit. It looks like right now there might be two different bursts of precipitation. What we're really worried about is obviously snow and what it can do to the roads, what it can do to these long bridges we have out here, which are 3+ miles long in some places, but also the wind impact, which it could have issues with power lines, even with the dry snow that, any type of precipitation and cool temperatures out here, we do get that dancing power lines out here because we've got long areas that are wide open with nothing but water right next to them for miles. We've got, just inland, large, expansive areas of farmland over flat terrain. But we also have the wave impact and the coastal flooding impact. Right now, we don't really know which side of the Outer Banks might see the coastal flooding, and that's all dictates on what the wind direction is. If it's a northeast wind or even a north wind, we're probably looking at an oceanside impact, especially on those coastal flood prone areas, the overwash prone areas south of Oregon Inlet, Hatteras Island, and down to Ocracoke Island. If it's more of a northwesterly component, then we're looking at a soundside flood threat, which would impact folks from Hatteras, or basically Buxton, which is where Cape Hatteras is, and Frisco and Hatteras Village and Ocracoke, and then on down east into Harkers Island and places like that in Carteret County. So we're still outside that area, that confidence area, if you will, of what direction the wind's going to be. And again, that goes back to dictate what precipitation type we get out of this system. But if you look at everything, and as Frank mentioned earlier, these models are kind of coming together with what's going to what may happen, and we're starting to talk percentiles. Man, I haven't seen the charts that we came out with from the National Weather Service office in Newport. I haven't seen charts like that in a while when they're putting us, the northeast corner of North Carolina, including the Outer Banks, at least the northern beaches, with a 50% chance of an 8+ inch snow event. That's what we got today. And almost a 100% chance of 1 inch, and almost 80% chance of 4 inches plus. And then again, a 50-50 chance of 8 inches plus. That's what we got today. That was kind of a little shock to the system As cold as it's been, and with the winds like they've been off and on the last couple of days out here, you walk out the door, it's a shock to the system. It was a real shock to the system to see that stuff come in.
Yeah, if that comes to fruition, that's going to be a lot of snow, especially for the Outer Banks. As Sam was talking, I was showing the GFS model just again to kind of paint a picture, a broad picture. As Sam mentioned, there are some weird dry slots in it. Where do those set up? There are some bands in it. Where do those set up? Those could make a big difference.